Howdy guys, Jimmy Song here. In this video, I'm going to talk about proof of work and why it's so important. A lot of people, one of the most frequent questions that I get anytime I speak or go anywhere or talk about anything is, isn't proof of work wasteful? Isn't it a waste of electricity? How can you justify using so much electricity? That could be doing X, Y, or Z. Why are you for this stuff? Blah, blah, blah. And here's my answer to that. Well, in order to have real scarcity, real money that is hardened, right? Transactions that are not rollbackable, right? Like that's very difficult to roll back and like screw people over on to not double spend. You need something that is very difficult to reverse. Now, the difficulty of that reversal is directly proportional to how much proof of work went into it or how much energy was expended to create it. It's kind of like asking if you had a safe, like, why do you have to have it be, 800 or why do you have to have this grade of steel? Why not use, aluminum, right? Why does it need to be so thick? Why can't you make it super thin, right? Like that would save so much money. You're kind of missing the point, right? Like of a vault door. The idea of a vault door is so that it would secure the stuff inside. The idea of proof of work is so that it secures the entire ledger, and that is all of the transactions that have happened on Bitcoin, including the UTXOs you may own. And that's the thing. It's you can't reduce that security without reducing. You can't reduce or change proof of work without also reducing the security. And that's not something that most people want or anybody really wants. You want your money to be rollbackable. I mean, ask all these chains that have rolled back, certain transactions, or some centralized entity says, "Oh, you can't do it." That's exactly the wrong model for money, or at least self-sovereign money. Centralized money, whatever, right? Like that's not more interesting than, say, the U.S. dollar, and that's what most altcoins are. But if you want to get rid of proof of work, what you're really saying is, I want a less secure lock box to put my wealth, and the energy spent is actually energy spent to secure your stuff, which is kind of like saying, well, why do we need security guards? Yeah, because otherwise somebody will come and take your stuff, right? Like that's not a good idea, especially when there's often many millions of dollars involved in the security of your stuff. The energy spent is very good, and besides, it's like people tend to think it's like competing against the heat in someone's home or the air conditioning that they get, or some oil processing manufacturing or something. It's not the case at all. The energy that's going into these mining machines is the absolute lowest priced energy, and that tends to be the energy that's in excess at various places where they produce too much. We don't have like super awesome battery technology that can store excess energy, so it has to get spent right away. So the power companies price these things very, very, very low. So, for example, if you are in Iceland and you have a lot of geothermal energy and you're not using all of it, what are you going to do? Well, you're going to try to sell it at a lower price point so that people will take it up, because otherwise you can't store it. There's no battery technology like that. So, Bitcoin becomes a really good way to subsidize geothermal energy. Similar with hydroelectric or solar or wind power. All of these things like happen in a particular place. The cost of transmission and the lack of battery technology mean that it's the mining equipment is often what will take a lot of this excess energy off the hands of these power companies. That's the energy that's going in. It's not competing against your microwave or oven. Okay, like that's a complete and most of these journalists that are complaining about the energy usage, that's the number that they use. It's like, well, it costs this much to run a microwave in your house, so let's multiply that by the amount of electricity that's used for these things. It's a complete wrong thing. You have no idea what the energy that's being used by the miners, how much they're getting it for, or where it's coming from, a lot of it would be wasted regardless. So it's a complete mischaracterization. It's the vault door to your Bitcoin, right? Like it's utilized for a very good purpose. So I don't think it's a problem, and that's why you need proof of work, and why other systems essentially don't give you that. Anyway, hope that helps you. This song is done.